guys, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your daily horoscope and energy reading for August 20th, which is Thursday. And I am up hiking around on Eagle Creek, and I'm just showing you the different aspects of where we are. And it is so gorgeous here still. The light is getting that pretty type like late afternoon look to it. We had to hike pretty far to get to this exact spot, my daughter and I. And I'll show you where she is. Brianna! Wave to the camera! Hello! Sorry, I had to hike all the way up here. But I want you guys to see everything about where I am, because it is like Eden. You know, it's like my own private spot up here. So, today is a difficult energy day, but you know, we have one sex style to talk about, so we're gonna talk about him. Hey, come here, Papa. Come here, right here. Hi, baby. Okay. My little lion, which I'm going to correct his haircut. Retarded. Even though people are like, wow, what kind of dog is that? He looks like a lion, and I'm like, I shaved my dog. Like a Leo. Must be all my Leo-based energy in me, like, influencing me out. Anyhow, today we're going to feel like Jupiter is expanding us. It's expanding us in directions. It's expanding us in opposing energy. So it's going to feel like it's expanding us in one direction and expanding us and pulling us like this in two different directions. So it's very frustrating today. It doesn't help that we have the moon going into Scorpio, and so it makes all of this much more intense and much more just hard to rationalize. It's very emotion-based today, you know, but not out on the surface, not like a Cancer moon. It's Scorpio moon, so this is brewing from within. This is all the deep stuff from within. And so the way that Jupiter is expanding us is it's creating fear, it's creating anxiety, it's creating control issues with inside ourselves, right? So Jupiter in Virgo is going to be quincunxing your South Node still. So we're, again, still wanting to, I think what's comfortable is to fall back on old wiring. That, there is, like I was telling you before, there is a comfort in the same old. There's a comfort in the feeling of familiarity. Even if it's detrimental, even if it's abusive, even if it's chaos, it still provides us comfort, but this energy is pushing us. It's telling us to do something. It's pushing us in a direction. This is going to set up control issues with your moon. Please don't go over there. Okay, I just gotta make sure that my dog doesn't go near a cliff or jump off it or something. He's not that smart. He's not brilliant. Not a woodsman dog. He's a princess who sits on a couch and I stroke his fur. Like, so I don't always trust him out here in nature to have some, you know, some dog instincts. Even though he did this really cute thing with his face where he dug a bunch of rocks out of the way and put himself in sand, I thought, oh my God, there's a dog instinct in there somewhere. Like, I don't know what you're bred with, but there was something in there to have build a nice cushy spot. So we're going to experience the YOD today, and this is a little bit different. It has some of the same energies in this YOD, and again, a YOD is the finger of God. It is a question. It is something that sits in your head and makes you ponder, makes you think, makes you understand that it doesn't allow you to go through your day and just coast like a trine would. It asks you a question, and it festers in there, and it deepens in there, and it doesn't release in your mind until you fully get a handle on these energies and you you take a look at the question that it's asking you. If you're trying to avoid the question, man, oh man, is that a difficult thing to do, especially when you have a dark Scorpio moon in place. Because this stuff resides deep in your mind, and that's where Scorpio likes to manifest. So it's going to make you have some emotion-based reactions to this question. And not all good. Not all good. So your South Node in Aries is at the top of this yod. And then you have the Moon in Scorpio, quincunxing the South Node in Aries. And then you've got Jupiter in Virgo, quincunxing South Node in Aries. So this is saying no more thinking about the ways that you used to get by. That in turn invokes fear. And it makes you want to gain control over that fear, which then makes you want to fall back on your South Node wiring. But it's in a quincunx, so it'll never, that's not the solution. Your body knows, your mind knows, your heart knows, that's not the solution anymore. That response is just not going to cut it. So then it takes a look at your analytical thinking. It makes you, because, you know, Scorpio is a very intelligent energy. And so it's going to ask Jupiter to think it out, help it out. So you have your Moon in Scorpio and you have Jupiter in Virgo communicating. That's where the sextile, that lets you out of the fear, that releases you from this question, that brings peace of mind. When you take a look at your fears, you address your fears, you acknowledge your fears, and you stop relying on poor coping methods, South Node methods to get you out of the situation or to keep you in poor situations, that's when Jupiter will go and expand something to get you out of that situation. But it's a question that you have to be real, that you have to really let that question open you up to this area of expansion. Not easy, because it's testing some boundaries, some comfort boundaries, Scorpio energy doesn't like to change. So what initially happens is it invokes fear. It pulls out some of your old insecurities, and then it makes you want to lasso and harness them and control them. Not always easy, I'm not going to lie, but if you try to get Jupiter and Virgo energy on board, we want to take that area of focus and we want to let it open us up in that particular area. So that'll be our today. That's till about 2 p.m. So you guys, it's like the morning to afternoons are like, you wake up in the morning and you just have shit on your mind, you know? And it really makes a hard day at work. It makes it hard to compartmentalize work and being very, very effective in your work routine. That's where I think you need to get Jupiter and Virgo energy on board to say, okay, I understand the question. I'm on board with this energy, but I need to be at work today until about 5 p.m. And then when I get home, I'll work on this energy. Universe, please just allow me to be able to compartmentalize. I also think that this could be trying to open up your abilities to compartmentalize, meaning I know that when I am poor, when I am stressed, when I have a hard time looking at my life, that consumes me and can interfere with my work routine. How you lose yourself in, when something overwhelms you, you let it overcome you at work, or you let it overcome your relationships, and you lash out, or you are passive aggressive in those environments. And maybe you need to learn how to feel intense energy and to compartmentalize, stick it on the back burner, and gain control on a day-to-day basis in your work routines, in your home routines, in your relationship routines, till you have the time to think things through and get a little bit more control over it, not being so emotion-based in that energy. Neptune in Pisces today is going going to trine your moon in Scorpio. So for many of you, you're going to check out. This is a lot of energy. This is a lot asking you to do a lot of things. And you're just not ready for what these energies are trying to ask you to do. For many of you, you're going to just trine it out and take the easy road out and try to avoid. The energies for this week is going to be about boundaries, testing boundaries, expanding boundaries, about expanding limitations. It's about expanding fear. It's about expanding need to get some control over areas you don't have control in. But at first, it has to go in there and it has to expand those areas. You know, if you fall back on your South Node wiring, Jupiter in Virgo, expansive Jupiter is going to go in and it's going to create an earthquake in your life. It's going to start expanding these cracks in your daily routine, in your work routine, in your mental well-being routine, in your physical well-being routine. It's going to start to expand those areas, and then your old wiring, your old South Node wiring is not going to be able to be enjoyable. It's not going to give you the same results. What's going to happen is it's going to create an earthquake within inside yourself, right? And it's going to engulf you mentally. Some of us have to fall before we rise. Pride cometh before the fall, baby. That is a true statement, and I know I have lived it several times in my life where pride definitely had to come before I fell. Like, I needed to let go and release my pride, the hold that my pride had over me, to go in and apologize, to go into and rectify a situation that I created, or to go in and be humble enough to, you know, apologize for something that I had done that I really honestly didn't think that I had done a whole lot of damage in, but perhaps the way that I communicated that situation out, they may have interpreted it in a different way than I meant. So my pride has to be put aside so that I can go in and change that. So for many of you, pride is definitely going to be a bitch in today, because you have all this energy in Aries, and you have Uranus in Aries, and you have the Sun in Leo. So you are going to be fighting your own self, your own ego, your own need to be right all the freaking time. And guess what, guys? You're not right. Guess what? All of you are going to be experiencing a need of opening yourself up to expansion in your boundaries. Opening yourself up to a new way of thinking. Opening yourself up to progressive life movement. It's a very rough day. I feel the energy is not altogether good, but I really want you guys to concentrate on the moon in Scorpio and how beautiful this moon in Scorpio can be. It's a strength. It's a very strong moon. If you've ever met a moon in Scorpio, they're very determined, very strong, very controlled individuals. And Jupiter wants to go in and expand areas where you don't have a lot of control right now. So you can see those areas that you don't have enough control in, so that Scorpio moon can be vulnerable, can feel the intensity of that situation, and then feel like it needs to go take care of that particular area in your life. And for you, that's going to be, I definitely think there needs to be a death to the old you, so there can be a rebirth to the new you. For you to ascend, I think your ego needs to die for ascension to be the way that you progress in your life, for you to be reborn in a new way of thinking. These are all ego death experiences this week. This is taking a look at yourself realistically, hardcore wise, and it is really making you accountable for who you are, and you know what your life direction is, and how you want it to proceed, how you want it to go. It's about expanding your boundaries. It's a beautiful day, but it's definitely going to be a challenging day, and I don't want you to ever stop thinking that you don't have a sextile in today to help you through this. Tap into your emotional well-being. Tap into your need to control the situation. If you need a timeout, be quiet, be still, take a look, write down your routines, write down where you're going wrong. This is a very analytical day, so it could be a day where you journal this stuff out, you write it out, you keep your emotions to yourself. They're private, they're things that you are going through. You don't need to communicate about them, but there are people that if you are willing to communicate, there's a positive energy in talking to some people. Some people may come back into your life that may unexpectedly give you an answer that you need. So for some of you, you may need to communicate, but for others, this is a very private process, and you just need to pull yourself back and sit down and journal all this stuff out. You need to maybe creatively let it out. You maybe need to make some music, or you need to do some art, or you need to talk about it on a channel, or you need to write it in a book, or you need to outline it for a book, or you need to outline it for a channel. But get it out of you. Don't repress all of this stuff in, because that's when a lot of this stuff could unexpectedly explode, and you could have some Uranian responses to this energy. Thank you so much for tuning into Annette's Astrology Corner, and I will talk to you guys again tomorrow.